Hey cycling community, this is Steve Grusis, the Cycling Greek. Here with the teammates at Santa Barbara County Road Race. There's 4 of us, 3 of us are in the 55s, and me, I'm in the 60s. Now we don't like racing in the rain, but what we're doing today is racing in the rain. Just a heavy drizzle right now. We have our plan, and the plan is basically, because this is going to be the race of attrition, because of the climb that we're going to do each lap, that whoever's together at the end, find out who the best sprinter is, and protect them, and get into the line. The main climb comes with about, the main climb finishes with about 1.5 to 2 miles to the race finish. It's always a good idea before race day, the day before, to do some kind of warm-up to get the legs going. Helps prime the legs. Specifically, helps you to filter out the lactate that's accumulated. So in my case, I did about 30 to 45 minutes on the trainer. I did about 3 1-minute high cadence intervals. Then I did a couple of progressions. So I'm good to go. Right, Scott?
We have a different training plan. Not so similar, but we'll see how it goes. That one, like any motor rep at all? Yeah.
We have a couple teammates here waiting for some more to come to the line. We have about 5 minutes.
You can talk to Chris Black. I don't mind doing threes instead. I really don't mind.
At least it's not cold and wet.
I'm gearing this commentary toward the new racer focusing on teamwork and tactics. This is the first race of the season, and I have 3 other teammates with me. My teammates are better climbers than I am, and at this point of the season, they are in better form than I am. Right now, we are at mile 11 of the 14-mile loop. We've driven this loop 3 times, and this is the major climb. In order to survive this climb, I started toward the front of the pack. In fact, I was second wheel. And you'll see that once the speed picks up, by the time we got to the top, I was at the back of the pack, but I was still with the pack. What I did from the beginning of the race is I worked toward the front of the pack. That allowed me to react more quickly to whatever was happening, such as surges and attacks. My teammates were spread throughout the pack, some in the middle, some in the back. This allowed them to, 1, rest while I did the majority of the work, so they would be more fresh for what was coming later on. Also, if there were any huge attacks coming from the sides or from the back, they'd be ready and able to respond. If we were riding like a pack inside the pack, while that would look cool, that could expose us to being out of position should an attack come from another part of the pack. After we got over this climb, I went back to monitoring the front of the pack. Usually when a single rider would attack, I would let him go and I wouldn't respond. If 2 or 3 went, then I would respond by getting on their wheels. I never put myself in the wind unless it was a specific purpose and I had to. I was usually riding wheels. If I didn't do that, then I would needlessly be using energy that I could use later on in the race, or maybe even get dropped. Then I wouldn't be any use to my teammates after that. About halfway through this lap 2, teammate Tom Caesar attacked and bridged to a rider that was out there dangling. They were off for a ways. That made the rest of the pack work. The rest of us on the team rode wheels. We got to conserve energy while the other teams did the work. Eventually Tom and his breakaway partner were caught, but it was not good time for me to counterattack. I did not have the form and it was too early in the race. A little while later, after a surge and catch, Tom was able to sneak off the front, and he went solo for a while. Eventually another rider tried to bridge to him, a 3rd rider tried to bridge, and a 4th rider tried to bridge. They all went off individually. I wanted Tom to acquire some breakaway partners because he was not going to be able to survive over a lap on his own. 2 of the riders got to Tom and they worked together. At that point, I started to actively block. That means if there was a couple of people up there chasing, I'd get on their wheels, and when they pulled off, I would not pull through. Simple Green had a team of 4 or 5 riders there and they had missed the break, so they were very active with another team to try and get Tom and his breakaway partners back. With half a lap to go, teammate Kevin came up. I let him know I was getting tired, so he stayed at the front monitoring while I went back and rested for a little bit. With about a mile before the third climb, the breakaway had about a minute 30 on us. At that point, the pack had resigned that they weren't going to catch him. We had done our job. First race of the year, and we're on the podium.
Okay, that's the pack right there. Third lap, third climb. Finish is about 2 miles away. I did my work, and I can't stay with them even if I wanted to. Good race. So on lap 3, after the start-finish area, I think that's where Tom attacked. He attacked solo. There's some individual chasers trying to get at him. So I think some of the individual chasers finally got together and they finally caught Tom. And coming into the back end major intersection, they had about 50-second lead. Then the pack, because of the block combination, and they're a little tired, backed off. And so by the time we got to the beginning of the climb, they had about 145 on us. Excellent. So worst case is Tom will end up with a third. On the back end, Scott had realized, this is after Tom had got some distance and was solo out there. He got to the front and started chasing. So Scott's pretty smart, so I realized that he didn't know that Tom was up there. Scott was usually resting on the back. So I had to get up there as soon as I told him. Then he backed off. Then we're all into blocking mode, or at least I took the majority of that till the back end when they had increased about a 50-second lead. And Kevin comes up and he's helping me block. So we're kind of we're staggered. We're not next to each other, but kind of close. And so when somebody would go off, and a couple guys would go off, then I'd go with them. They'd go hard, then they'd back off, and I wouldn't pull through. Then they finally realized that I had a teammate up there. In fact, it was Simple Green that was trying to bring it back. Whenever one Simple Green would go and they would create some distance, then I would just stay in the pack, because if a Simple Green makes it up there or is anywhere in no man's land, then the rest of them, and they had a large group here, are not going to chase. Looks like it's a good day. Tactics worked well, so we'll see how it finishes. So you saw previously from the video that on the first time going up the climb, that I started in second position, stayed there as long as I could, and by the time I got to the top, I was barely hanging on to the back. That's how fast these guys are going. Second lap, I lose contact about halfway through, and now I'm just chasing hard. Toward the top rollers, I just connect, but they surge and I lose them again. I dig, and I get real close, so close that I started feeling comfortable, and I started adjusting my camera. Stupid thing to do. They take off again, and now I'm thinking, oh geez, I can't get dropped now. So now I'm chasing. I reconnect by the time you get to the start-finish line to begin lap 3. Maybe I'll learn. Okay, this is my bike here, and it looks like I've been riding Paris-Roubaix, but of course we know we haven't. And there's Kevin. He's got some mud going on. Tom less. He's been in a breakaway, so well actually, no, he's yeah. Of course I got the mud thing going on. So, and then Scott said, enough of this, I'm going home. So we haven't been able to get a picture of him. So this was a good team race for us. Got third place. Got Tom that took off in the break, almost got caught. He attacked again, got in a break of 3, and finished third. And we did some active blocking. This isn't riding wheels and blocking, this is some active blocking. So all in all, very pleased. I say no one crashed. We had a little crash here.
Yeah, little crash near the end.
But he's not dead, so that's good. Okay, time to get home.